Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, certainly wasn't a good day yesterday for Carnival cruise lines. They've been lambasted lately. One thing is their new menu for room service. A lot of people aren't happy. Second of all, they missed their third quarter earnings projection and lost 20% in the stock market. And then I also want to tell you about, oh, by the way, the worst possible scenario for one of my favorite shore excursions you can ever do, and probably my scariest scenario. First off, let's talk about Carnival Corporation's new room service menu. They announced just a week or so ago that they were going to do away with the free room service other than continental breakfast servings in the morning. And now they're going a la carte. But there's two reasons for doing this. Reason number one is they want to offer more variety to their clients. A bigger, larger menu. And then second of all, this is going to cut back on food waste. Food waste is such a horrible thing on cruise ships that Carnival feels absolutely that they have to do something about this. The waste of food is incredible. So they're going to solve that by charging you to get your food, I guess is the situation. But they released their new menu on there, supposedly the greater, expanded, giant, much better menu. And a lot of people notice that, well, much of the things that are on there were kind of on there before. The big difference is that, yeah, now you got to pay for it as opposed to the free room service. And not only that, it's not like you get a single room service charge. So a family of four orders room service and they charge you $8 for the room service. Here you go. No, this one you got to pay per item. So one lady on Facebook went out and she priced some things. She says, I like to get a salad, I like to get this, and I like to get this. And if I get it for myself and three other members of my family, that now costs me $50-some to do. And if I do that like I like to do right now while I'm getting ready, and we're getting ready for the evening after shore excursions, if we have 4 excursions, now you're talking an extra $200 and some onto the price of our cruise, not to mention all the other added things that seem to be popping up as extra service. Now there is plenty of free food on Carnival. There's the buffet, you can still get burgers, you can still get pizza. There is still lots to do and get free menus. However, a lot of people notice, well, yeah, but you can't get some things that the places you used to get now because they stopped serving the food in those locations. And now the places that were busy are now super busy because there's no other place to get food. And people are starting to say, hey, you're known as the cruise line that's great to get out, quick getaways, and you're known for the quick service and some fun entertainment, the fun ships and everything, and not too pricey. But now when you start adding in all the little extras, it's quite possible that the next step up in cruise lines, like for instance our Norwegian or Royal Caribbean, might be more within the people's range than the Carnival ships are at the moment with all the extra pricing. A lot of other cruise lines have extra pricing as well, so don't just assume that. But if push comes to shove, people are looking at their total cost of vacation, and if they notice that they're all of a sudden they're spending $200, $300, $400 more than they used to on their cruise, they're going to complain about it. John Hill had an answer to that, saying, well, you could always go to the deli and just wait in line like everybody else. Sorry, John. That sounds like a Disney answer to me. Yes, it used to be free, but hey, you can still go stand in line with everybody else for hours on end and then do the thing that used to be free. It is what it is. Just come out and say it is what it is. Don't say you can just go stand in line. That does not come off very very consumer friendly. Let's put it that way. You want your clients to be convenienced. You want them to have an easy time to do things. And if they're bringing up a thing that they think is an issue, just telling them to go wait in line is probably not a good answer. Really. Okay. You know who else didn't think that some of these answers are very good? The stock market. Carnival, under lower earnings ratings in the third quarter, their bookings were up, but because of the discounted rates and the high cost of fuel, they did not make a profit in the third quarter, and they projected the fourth quarter to be stagnant, if not below expected numbers as well. This caused the stock market shares of Carnival to drop to nearly an all-time, well, almost a 30-year low. It dropped 20% in one day. That's a heck of a drop, but hey, possibly a heck of a pickup for anybody out there looking to try and grab some shares at a low rate. Remember, this is not stock market advice. I am not a stock market expert, by no means. I would probably lose my shirt. So I just wanted to say it's at a 30-year low right now if you were thinking on doing that. This might be the time to pick it up. But remember, they're calling possible recession. Slow down in pricing, slow down in traveling. It might still drop even lower than it is now. Just be warned. And then I want to talk to you about one of the favorite things I love to do now on my shore excursions whenever I'm in a warm climate is to go snorkeling. And let me tell you about the most scary scenario that has happened now, and I shudder every time I hear it because it freaks me out. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with all things cruising, from price hikes to itinerary changes to ships being canceled because of hurricane weather, to the new storms coming, to anything that impacts cruising whatsoever, you'll probably hear it on the channel, and I really do appreciate everyone who hits the subscribe button. It really does help the channel out, and you can join this community and just have a lot of fun talking about cruising. And again, I really do appreciate it. Okay, there's a story coming out of a lady who didn't say too much the first time it happened, but then she found out it happened again to somebody else. And that was, they were snorkeling in Fiji. Well, her husband was. And they were with Captain Cook Cruises, a small expedition luxury line that's very well known in Fiji. And they went out, her husband went out on a shore excursion snorkeling, and they left him behind. Not on an island, in the ocean. They left him behind in the ocean. Now, luckily, this happened in May, and he happened to be treading water out there when a fisherman happened to be coming by, saw him, and rescued him. When reported, the cruise line said they're looking at this, they're going to go over their procedures and make sure head counts are done, etc., etc., etc. And the woman never said nothing, didn't complain too much about it. And then she found out that it happened again with them in August, where another family, this time a family of 4, were out on a shore excursion, and they left all 4 of them behind in the middle of the ocean. They had no choice at that time but to try and swim to the nearest island. How far was the island, did you say? A half a kilometer, maybe a kilometer, maybe a mile away. It was 20 kilometers away, or 16 miles away, was the closest island to them. Luckily, a garbage boat happened by, and they were rescued by the garbage barge. Now, I don't know if these families are launching a lawsuit or not for gross negligence, but you would almost have to think that they have a case. I mean, the number one, if you're in the middle of the ocean and you're responsible for 30 or 40 guests out there, you think the number one thing you should be doing is counting the people on your excursion and then counting them when they get back on the boat. Somebody could have had a heart attack for all they know out there, or cramps or whatever, and just started and drown. Apparently, if they're not paying enough attention to the swimmers and the divers and the snorkelers out there to notice that they're not getting back in the boat, then how much attention are they really giving to the clients out there? And how safe do you feel? I tell you, that is one of my worst fears out there, is to be left alone in the middle of the ocean. Because what do? It's not like there's anything you can do. Oh, well, if I just do this, I'll survive. It's kind of luck. It's kind of your shape. I'm not in great shape. I probably would not last as long as a fit person who's good at swimming. And that just terrifies me. To be left all alone out there in the ocean because of, quite honestly, negligence on the part of somebody who's in charge of your safety. It's kind of crazy to think about. Yeah, I don't know how you miss people. Did they swim way far away from the boat? That doesn't really, even if they did that, you still have to know how many people are supposed to be back on the boat before you head to shore. It doesn't matter how much time you have left to get them back to the ship to sail. You do not leave people. You have to know how many people were on that trip. A head count is the step one out of anything out there. What do you guys think? Is that a fear of yours? I know if you're just sailing, say, in Cozumel or some places, you're not too far offshore. But if you go to places out like Fiji and Bora Bora and places like that, you're going miles into the ocean to swim near reefs and stuff like that. It's beautiful, but when you hear stories like this, it's darn right scary. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.